You have back pain? This is how we're gonna fix it.
Okay guys, this is my protocol to get rid of back pain. First of all, we got to see how you sit. You don't want to slouch, because every time you slouch, you stay in that position, you become prone to herniated disc. Another thing you're gonna do is make your gluteus medius really tight. So avoid slouching. And of course, even the psoas is gonna get really tight. So one thing you probably do is another kind of slouch, that is a hyperkyphotic position, where your sternocleidomastoideo, your upper rhomboid become really tense, and this can create headache and pain to your shoulder. So you probably heard that you got to stay straight, but every time you stay straight, you got another problem. You create a really tense in the rhomboid minor that can create the upper thoracic pain. But there is a solution. The solution is to really slide on top of the chair with your glutes and go really close with your shoulder to the back of the chair. In this position, you are completely supported, and you will not experience any pain. And this is the right position. The first exercise is a 50-50. It helps to release all the back chain, and I will stay in that position for 1 minute. And then after 1 minute, I will move slowly to the other side, like I'm doing this moment, so to avoid any extra pain in your back. So you prepare, you go all the way to the side. This is really good to release all the pain in your glutes and in your extensor of the spine. Every time you're gonna change and stand up, you just try to roll on the mat. Another way to stretch, I would call it 50-50 for the piriform muscle, a muscle that got really tense when you have a back pain, and can really create what is called piriform syndrome. And it's a kind of a sciatica that because it's a muscle that is stay on top of the sciatica, so when it got really tense, it can pinch the sciatica nerve and create a fake sciatica, but in reality it's just a piriform syndrome. A way to release the glute medius that we saw before is to create this movement of extension, abduction, and flexion of the glute. We try to move on all direction of the glute medius while we are pressing with the finger and create kind of a flossing of the muscle, a myofascial release of the muscle. You can stay in this position. You can do this exercise for, let's say, 30 to 1 minute. If you can, until the pain is completely gone, or it's going down to 50 or 60% of what was initially. So this is one of the best protocol to get rid of the pain in the glute medius. Another things you can do is a glute medius exercise too, because sometimes it can be that the glute medius needs to be strengthened. That's why it's so painful, because it's really weak. So it got really facilitated, and because it's weak, it's not. It got like tense and full of knot, and that can create what looks like a back pain, but in reality it's just a glute medius that is really weak. Another muscle that needs some attention is the QL, or quadratus lumborum. A way to give a myofascial release to quadratus lumborum is to use a lacrosse ball, put it in the part where the quadratus lumborum is, that is, as you can see in the picture, and you keep on flexion and extend the hips. In this way, you're flossing on top of the muscle. This is a really great way to create a myofascial release of the QL. Another way is you can even move side to side to find the trigger point and work on top of it to release it. This is I find that this really important exercise. So when I felt some pain in my back, then you want to try to stretch the QL. This for me is one of the perfect stretch of the QL. It's very difficult to stretch. It's easier when somebody is stretching for you, but this technique it's great. You just grab on the wall, on the door, on the TRX, and allow yourself to stretch the QL. Another way to get rid of the pain is the McKenzie method. It's a way to push the hernia back into the situ where it comes from. So you can do this 3 or 4 times a day, and pushing back the hernia. That is the opposite of the slouching that we see at the beginning. Another way to make your back pain go away is the bracing. The bracing is a way to contract your muscle, creating some kind of pressure, abdominal pressure inside your abs. And of course you're gonna do some abs that have the without bending of the spine. They are called McGill's abs, and you create a brace and you don't create any flexion of the spine. That's why these abs are so good, because you create a strong abs while not bending the spine. So if you like this video, guys, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.